Welcome, trainers, to the PokeSphere. We're your destination for in-depth Pokemon news, community discussion, and editorial content. We're passionate about this franchise, and we're here to share our insights and connect with fellow fans. So let's talk Legos.
Gotta build them all, Pokemon. Yeah, talk about a connection.
So, earlier this week, at the time of recording, we were given an announcement by Pokemon that they are doing a collaboration with Legos to produce a series of Lego kits that include the Kanto starters in their full evolution, Pikachu, Eevee, and even the Pokemon Center. Some of these do come with a pretty hefty price tag, as well as some questionable gift decisions.
Vouchers? We ain't got no vouchers. We don't need no vouchers.
This isn't the first time that Pokemon has done a collaboration with a company that does building blocks for kits. And we're going to go ahead and take some time to look over everything and give our thoughts and insights on this announcement. So let's jump into it. When you guys heard about this announcement of Pokemon with Legos, what were your first thoughts when you heard that Pokemon and Lego were finally collaborating after all this time?
Actually, the correct term is first partner Pokemon.
I will beat you, sir. I will beat you with a spoon.
But, as in terms of like the Lego collaboration, I mean, I felt like, honestly, I just felt like, oh, it finally happened, kind of thing. Like, I think I do remember seeing things like the Mega Bloks thing or like whatever other brands they were using for their, I guess, building block types of collabs. Just hearing, I was like, okay, finally, they're on the Lego. I'm just wondering how much that's gonna cost. That's basically all I had as a reaction.
Yeah, no, I was pretty excited. I did hope that there would be multiple kits, and for at least like one or two of them to be like adult themed kits, like the collector's kits. For example, you get like the Star Wars ones and the black boxes, and those are very much geared towards adults, which I think they've done with their big boy product. Kind of disappointed it took as long as it did, because it did sort of give the Mega Bloks or Mega Construx guys a chance to really refine their designs and come out with some really good looking stuff at a relatively decent-ish price point as well. Obviously, the more features, the better something looks, the more it's going to cost. So we'll see what future there is for Pokemon and Lego, depending how this first drop goes. But we all know Pokemon fans, they all buy everything regardless. So
yeah, I'm interested in these Lego Pokemon that they collab with, and looks good, even though they're very expensive. But I think maybe in due time, I probably would buy it when I have the money for it, and probably better wait until they're on sale to get them, because they're interesting, and I can't wait to see what other Pokemon they're gonna have for it.
So that's actually a really good point that Son mentions. Is this a one-time release partnership? Are we going to see this a continued product line, or are they going to start doing rollouts of like the Eevee evolution? Are we going to get a Jolteon, Vaporeon, and Flareon set similar to the first partner Pokemon set? Or is this a one and done and then everything's kind of tied up? Is this their way of like pulling the rights away from previous Pokemon builder blocks? Mega Bloks, I believe it was. Or Mega Construx is another one. I think they might be the same company. I'm not sure. Anyways, that's a tangent. I like the idea that we might see other Pokemon in the future, but I keep going back is like, this is really expensive. And that set is more than I spent on my Nintendo Switch 2, along with the fancy little grip and carrying case and all that doodad that I got to modify it. It's a ridiculous price point in this current economy, and it's falling into that category of, wow, I really like to see that this exists in the world and that people are creating these things, but there's no way I have room or the resources to bring that into my life.
I will say that it took me a second to realize that the Pokeball I have sitting on my desk office was not a Lego, but actually was a Mega Construx kit. And so like it took me a moment to realize that this is actually the first collaboration with Pokemon, and it was surprising because I've seen so many kits over the last couple of years, never realizing that they weren't actually Legos, just because Legos tend to be expensive, so I generally tend to not look at them. But I got one as a gift for the holidays, and I immediately put that thing together because it was cool. So, like, seeing what they're bringing into these kits really kind of caught my attention. But, you know, Sun brought something up, and I kind of want to lean into this, which is the cost. The price point for these kits, they are not cheap, and I'm of the mindset that this is more to do with the fact that you're paying for name versus product, because to be honest, these kits seem really, really expensive, and I understand they're using custom pieces to create these sets, but I mean, you're looking at what the Eevee is going for $60. The Pikachu, the 25th anniversary Pikachu version, is going for $200. And the triple starter is $650, and this is on pre-order on the Lego site directly. So, I mean, the price point here kind of feels a bit off-putting, especially to younger people who might like Legos, but these kits seem to be a bit more complex, and it's automatically going to gatekeep, the younger crowd. This is clearly targeting older fans like us. And in all honesty, like, I'm not entirely sure that's the right move. But, that's just my opinion on this topic, on this particular part. What do you guys think?
You've been getting me a lot of good segues with this, the way the conversation's flowing. Bring up an actually solid point, and I love that somebody, kind of led me into this. The age demographic for the Lego set compared to the previous partnerships, you look at the Mega Bloks and Mega Construx, look like they were simplified, and they look like they were meant to be tools or toys to introduce kids into the franchise and kind of share that. Like, if I had kids, that's what I would be wanting to give them, so that way I have a relative connection to the interest that I'm showing my child. That said, Lego sets are basically for adults. This is for people that are older, that they're going to get this, they're going to build this, and this is going to become the equivalent of a resin figurine on their shelf, part of their collection. That's it. And for this level of price point, I have a hard time justifying that for what's effectively a short-term pastime that leads into a collectible. I mean, you're more of a collector, Ryu. What do you think about the idea of them just kind of being collectible pieces and part of your acquisition?
As collectible, I'd say they're quite expensive. Considering the Gen 1, but they got Kanto Starters in the Final Four, and I think it should be a little cheaper. And if they were to give discount, I think they can really sell those pieces like a lot better, in my opinion.
So yeah, I mean, it's been said already. The sets are egregiously expensive, but I'm sort of in the camp. Actually, firstly, before I go into that, so I agree with waiting until they're on sale unless you really want them, because at the end of the day, they are just gonna be display pieces. Then as much as there is that contrast between Mega Bloks, being the introduction for kids and that, I think for Lego the best way to get the market and to see if something like this is actually going to work is to target the older audience, the guys who have that disposable income, although I don't think many people have that these days, to drop $60, $200, $650, whatever they want, or just go full hog and spend $900 and get all of them. So I think if it works out, if they sell decently, we'll probably see more kid-geared sets. I think the nice thing about Lego, and I'm a big Lego fan, got a lot of the Lego Star Wars sets, got all of the Lego F1 cars, etc. Lego itself is highly collectible. You pair it with an IP that's historically been very collectible, like Pokemon, and you see the booms in the older games and their price points. You see what some of the older cards are selling for, some of the newer ones even. And even though they're on the decline at the minute, they're still highly sought after. So you compound the collectivity of Lego with the collectivity of Pokemon, and I actually think these are winning products. And the nice thing about Lego the mock building community is quite big. So you might buy the $650 one, and you'll sit on it for a while. You'll look at it. It'll look nice as a display piece. Eventually, you might get a bit bored of it. Go look online, and there's guys who post instructions. You might be able to build like the Kanto starters, for example, from the pieces that are included in the $650 set. So I suppose it's a mystery on where this is going to go, but I hope it does well. And there's no saying you can't buy this for your kid. They might not be able to play with it like they would other Lego sets geared more towards the younger audience.
Mine's like, I already figured Legos were gonna be expensive regardless, so like whatever price tag they're gonna put on these things is like, oh, okay, that's just Lego pricing, right? Like that was my initial thoughts on it. And then you ever heard of the book 50 Shades of Grey? And then like one of its shelves of Grey. I'm about to, I buy this, I'm about to have a shelf, 50 shelves of incomplete, because I'm gonna lose one of these pieces, and then I'm just never gonna build it. Never. I'm gonna pay the money, I'm gonna lose some pieces, and then I'm just gonna give up on building it. Ever.
I'm just dying over here thinking the idea of you using the bricks to just make, because you lost pieces, to make a color-coded minimalist version of it.
Yeah. Or you're just gonna see like the obvious missing spots. Oh god, that'd be terrible. I forgot what. Oh, shoot, I was gonna say something else too now, but I forgot too. As far as like the price points go, yeah, I'm also a believer of wait for it to go on sale as well before buying it, unless you really unless you have like a really bad case of FOMO or something, then yeah, I mean by all means. But I think they're sold out anyways right now. So, oh, and I think that's the other thing too that I wanted to say now that I think about it. If I remember correctly, I don't know if it was from Austin John or Munching Orange that was going over the Lego sets in general, but I think according to like what they were saying, like the commercial or trailer or whatever or promotional that they dropped for it, there was like no children in it at all, right? Like I think everybody was at least like an adult actor, or like at least like early 20s above, right? From what it sounded like. And like I'm assuming they were used in that promotional just because like maybe they were targeting at the adults that do have that disposable, might possibly have the disposable outcome. I think I also heard something like they released something like a roadmap list that they are gonna continue it. So like I'm hoping like if that is the case, whatever's coming out later, maybe those are gonna be kid friendly. Maybe those are gonna be kid affordable. Well, in Lego standards. If I'm gonna buy one of those things though, probably gonna be the Eevee. Cheapest thing I could see on there, and it's Eevee. So.
Well, I mean, that's going to lead into something that I kind of have a feeling this is going to go. With these being the initial sets, I would not be surprised if these go out of print very quickly, especially with the fact that they're offering the Lego badge set along with the purchase of the $650 set. With if I understand things correctly, I could be wrong. That's going to make these sets highly collectible, desirable, and you're probably going to see them getting scalped for at least twice the price, if that's the case. And it's kind of one of the precarious things that you have to be careful when it comes to Legos, because there are a lot of old sets that are no longer that were in production for just a short amount of time, that are worth a bit of money.
There's also a mini Pokemon Center that you can get by trading in points or something, I believe on the Lego site. I know about this just from Austin John's video.
Yeah, so it's basically the like rewards club, which is also that's kind of a not great thing to do. Although I suppose you got to reward your guys are part of the rewards thing.
Yeah, but those would have made great small sets in order to allow for economic availability, as opposed to basically putting them behind the highest paywall.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. What I will say though is scalpers are gonna go crazy, because you're gonna have two sets of scalpers trying to get their hands on things. You're gonna have the Lego scalpers, which are in it because these sets have quite a few, or will have quite a few custom pieces or new pieces, like new colors, new styles, whatever. And then you've also got the Lego guys who are like, ooh, not Lego guys, Pokemon guys who are like, oh, Pokemon, we can get lots of money for this.
Back when I was a kid, back in the 80s, there were Lego sets that you could only get through McDonald's. And those Lego sets to this day are actually worth a pretty sum of money, considering there were only about maybe 20 pieces in the set. They were very basic at the time because, again, it's the 80s. We didn't have all the cool stuff that we have now. But, the fact that I can get the whole display right now, and it's going to set me back $125 for quite literally maybe 70, 80 pieces of Legos is insane. And when you're talking about something like Pokemon and Legos combined, if they limit this initial run of sets so that once they're gone, they are gone, the price tag of anybody getting their hands on any of these sets is going to go through the roof.
I suppose that's one of the reasons I'm glad I live where I live, because there isn't exactly a large Pokemon community as there would be in places like the UK or America or Australia. So even if popularity does die down, I mean, you'll still find these things in toy shops. Like, I saw the other day, the OG Lego Death Star was on one of the shelves for sale, just because they had it in the back or they had it in the shop and nobody was buying it.
That's because those things are expensive. Have you seen the Star Destroyer?
Oh yeah,
That Star Destroyer was $2,000 when I saw it come out. It's because it's huge. It's like 5 feet long.
Yeah, I'm never gonna finish that.
Oh well, it comes with a regular. It was the Super Star Destroyer, and it came with a regular Star Destroyer on the side for scale, and the regular Star Destroyer was about as big as your thumb.
I have one gripe with the $650 kit. Most of your collectible display kits, like the Super Star Destroyer, the Death Star, the Harry Potter Hogwarts set, you get a little display plaque that tells you, I think, what it is or what franchise it's from, and you get little minifigures with it. Such a missed opportunity. They could have made like custom molds for the heads and accessories and had like the 3 baby versions of the starters, so Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander, and they just didn't do it. I think that would have made the set worth the money. No, probably not, but
I mean, it's not that Lego isn't even a stranger to custom bits, because I'm going to say about 10 years ago, there was the big Toys to Life craze, and Lego Dimensions was the thing, and you had The Simpsons, and you had, Gremlins, and Scooby-Doo, and those you cannot make out of regular Legos. They had custom bits to them. So it wouldn't have cost them any bit more to have those figures as well. So I kind of agree with you on that. But that said, we've talked about, we kind of danced around some of the other sets from other manufacturers, and Pokemon did have a deal going with Mattel for a while under their Mega Bloks and Mega Construx flag. And those were some really cool pieces, in my opinion. Some of them look better than the originals, like the Gyarados one. I mean, this was Mega Block. And if you look at the detail work on this particular set, this is a pretty cool set. And it moves from the looks of it. It's got a little hand crank there. But I think the thing that gets me, that really gets me, is that they have the plaque that goes in front of the build, and the plaque is in the 4 languages that that the game originally was presenting in. So English, French, Spanish, and Japanese.
How much is their set?
This one's a $200 set.
Well, I could believe it considering how big it is. Quite a large Gyarados.
18 inches wide, but it also moves. It looks like it actually does move, because you can see the cranks. So there's a bit of motion on the hand crank.
I say that'd be worth it then. I think that's a good person. So
Yeah, I'm putting the motor on that real quick, because that hand is cranking.
Yeah, I mean, look at this though. I mean, this is almost 2 feet wide and a third of the cost. I ended up getting the Pokeball from the Mega Construct, and I think that one only sells for about $35, and the front lights up. You hit the Pokeball switch in the front, and the light will start to glow like it's ready to open. And then, of course, we've got some of the sets here, like the Mega Construx Venusaur. I mean, this doesn't look terrible.
No, but they do look like they're about 5 years behind on digital graphics in terms of like the Mega Bloks ones do have a little bit blockier feel, but IMO, that adds to the nostalgia of them beat of plastic bricks.
Yeah, no, it definitely adds that charm. I mean, for Minecraft, the original Pokemon mod, all the Pokemon models were blocky and looked like they fit the world. Now, and then they transitioned to smooth models, and they sort of looked out of place, but you sort of got used to it. And now with the new Cobblemon mod, they've gone back to that blocky look, and it just looks so much better in my opinion because it fits the world.
The Venusaur's Vine Whip, that was cool.
Ooh, Dragonite. Is that topic? That's a very small topic.
Wait, why does Dragonite have shoulder scythes?
So those are wings?
No, look above the wings. It's
Oh.
the Death Type custom of Dragonite. Oh look, and Venusaur throws things.
Lady, that's not how you do that with the
The
mind.
Death Type custom of Dragonite.
Oh,
What are those? They're not wings.
Overall, like there was an attempt, and the price point is a lot better than a lot of the Lego sets that are coming out, and that's kind of where I'm leaning more towards. Is like, yeah, they're not as cool looking, but at the same time, they're not excessively overpriced. Like, this is the one I have.
No, here's one thing that I'm noticing about all these, and I think this is one of the biggest factors considering I brought it to the table with the Pokemon Lego ones. These look like they're meant to do something after you build them. I see them playing with the Dragonite and the other Pokemon as if they're action figures that they got to build themselves, not just display pieces on a shelf that you're waiting to get bored of and either rebuild or resell. And the Pokeball is meant to be poked at every now and then to make it light up.
There's actually a space inside. If you were to split this thing, you can take one of the small toys, the small little figures, and put it inside the Pokeball. And when you open it, there's the little Pokemon waiting for you to come out. And that's kind of a cool thing. And again, this set's $35. So I mean,
That's pretty good deal.
that's damn good. That's a damn good deal, personally.
that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, some of the early Pokemon kits looked a bit derpy and a bit out of place, but with time they've really sort of refined them, and a lot of them actually look really cool.
These have some form of functionality to them, and are priced so much cheaper than what we're getting with these new sets that are coming out. And I'm kind of hesitant, because the thing is that they don't look any better, in my opinion. I don't know, it's just me.
No, I mean, to a degree. I mean,
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
Lego Pikachu definitely doesn't look as good as the Mega. He looks a bit chubby.
So the Mega Construct, is that the name of the company, or is it just for the Pokemon stuff?
Mega Construx is the Mattel brand of Legos.
Yes. that's
Lego
what-
it's a separate company altogether.
Oh, I know that. But I meant the brand, my bad. Yeah.
Like, it's gonna come down to how much people really want to get these sets, and for those collectors out there, they're probably gonna pony up for those kits. And I'm sure that, like I said, I'm gonna actually say it. I think they're gonna limit the run on these. Once they're done, and you're gonna see the price tag for these kits just go
Well,
absolutely insane.
yep, it's covered.
But that goes back into something that Ryu hinted at way early on in this recording session is, it kind of triggered an idea in me, is what if they do rotation? What if this is a short run and they give it a little bit of a break, and then we get a Gen 2 first partner Pokemon set with Hoot and Togepi, stuff like that going on. What if they start trying to go through the generations and just release that? And then that would actually kind of free earlier sets in that nostalgia collectibleness.
Yeah, it definitely feels like
they're heading in
that direction.
Yeah.
You think this is just a one and done?
I'd say in the long run, you invest in these and open it. In the long run, they could be worth quite a bit of money if you think about it. And, maybe not now, but like let's say from 20 years, 30 years from now, right? Those prices I think will go. Let's say there's gonna be a WS set of how look at these and so on.
What I'd like to see is maybe a next set or next wave of these sets is, well, I'm sure you guys are aware of like the metal Pokeballs that you can get that can light up. They're not too badly priced for what they are, but I mean, to get all of them is a lot of money. So I'd like to see a Lego version of that for maybe like 20, 30 bucks, about a third or half of the price. That way you could get into essentially the same kind of collection, but, you know, at a cheaper price point.
But, you know, so like them collaborating with different people is not unheard of. It's just that it's wild that they went from Mega Construx to Legos in the course of the year.
Would you rather buy the $650 3 Kanto Starters Lego set, or would you buy a Switch 2 with a Pokemon?
You know, that was actually my exact thought this at the start of all this, and I didn't voice it. It was like, you know, $650. That is a lot of money for a Lego kit that's just gonna sit there and gather dust, as most Lego kits tend to. I mean, you could buy a Switch 2 Lego NSO for that for a year for that price tag. That is insane. And you know, I think the worst part is that it is literally on the heels of them dropping that system. If this was a year later, okay, yeah, that's fine, But no, they're hitting everybody right in the flippin' wallet between the system, the game, because you know we're what, 1 month out of Pokemon Day, give or take.
Yeah.
So you know we'll know more about when Gen 10 is going to drop, which I'm going to predict that that's going to be later this year. But you know you've got all of this hitting everybody at one shot, and just hot on the heels of the holidays. Man, ain't nobody gonna have the money for this except really, really rich people.
Scalpers.
And scalpers.
30th anniversary.
Yeah.
Without all the stocks and our wallets.
I wish I had an animation of a wallet just screaming as it's being boxed to death.
With my wallet turning into a howler for Mrs. Weasley.
But with that brings this episode to a close. What are your thoughts about these Lego sets? Do you think they're cool? Do you think they're worth the price tag that they're asking for? Would you have rather gone with some of the other sets from the other previous companies that they that were Lego like? Let us know down below. Also, be sure to share, like, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Also, join us on our Discord. We're on X, Blue Sky, Rumble, and YouTube. And as always,
We'll see you in the next video.